My name is Charlie Prattville. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today. I'm here with my camera recording the meeting, and it will be shared on our YouTube channel as soon as possible. May I ask who is chairing the meeting?
Sherry?
Okay. Thank you very much. Why isn't the board allowing Zoom access for this meeting? Madam Chair?
Ask him to ask all his questions and then he'll respond.
Ask all your questions, I'll respond later.
No, you
No,
can respond today.
yes.
But ask the questions and he'll respond.
You can ask your questions and I'll respond.
Okay, well, what if I have a follow-up question?
You can ask it.
You can ask me and I'll respond.
Okay, so I just asked a question. Why doesn't the board allow Zoom access? For what it's worth, the executive director asked me to come to this meeting and ask that question right here. Why not?
More questions there, yeah?
Any more questions?
Sure. Who reviewed the lawyer's bills before approving them?
Ask him that question.
Ask the next question.
Why didn't the pension payment get made from 2023?
Okay. Next question.
Are there any updates you can share on the authority's lawsuit against the Linden Housing Corporation?
Next question.
Next question.
I'm very concerned about compliance with the Open Public Records Act. I brought this up at the last several meetings. On February 10th, I requested the resolution hiring you, Dr. Berghammer, and a copy of your contract. Tomorrow is 2 months since then, and I still don't have either document. If I don't get them tomorrow, I'll be contacting attorneys on Friday to pursue bringing a case to force the agency to comply. Why haven't I received your contract, Dr. Berghammer, or the resolution hiring you? What's wrong? What's the problem? What's the holdup?
Next question. Any more questions?
Yep. I also requested the resumes of the other candidates for the executive director position, and I requested all candidates for the executive director position. Finally, this week I received Dr. Berghammer's resume, but I don't have the resumes for any of the other candidates, and I was told that those resumes won't be released without permission of those candidates. So I'd like to ask, did the authority reach out to any of the other candidates to ask if they consent to having their resume released? And if not, why not? Will you do that? Or will you give me their names so I can contact them and ask their permission? Not really fair for you to say, we can't release them without permission from the candidates, but then conceal who the candidates are and not even attempt to get their permission. I don't think that's appropriate. I think the Open Public Records Act is being violated, and I think this board has a liability that you need to address. I also note that you don't have a full board here today. There's, I believe, 5 voting members present. There are 7 members of the board. If you had Zoom access, you might have more board members, and you might have greater participation from the public. I've asked repeatedly why you did away with the Zoom access, which was the status quo for years. And yeah, I mean, I would like an answer to that question. Can you respond to my questions?
Are there any more questions?
There may be a follow-up, but I will yield the floor so you can answer my questions.
Regarding the legal questions, there was a request for information regarding candidates who applied in their resumes. The law does not require that the public entity provide that information unless the individuals seek to do so themselves. As one can understand, if you're applying for a position somewhere, you may not want your current employer to know that you're applying for another position. So that is the rationale for that. As far as the contract, you should have a copy of the contract. We can get that to you in short order. I don't see why that's an issue. The issue regarding Zoom, I think the Board of Commissioners has discussed it. They're still in the process of discussing it. They're trying to promote participation at the meetings of the public, the residents that live here, to give them an opportunity to come to the meetings, to see the meetings, to participate in the meetings, so that's part of the rationale. Why the pension from 2023 did not get paid. This current Housing Authority Board of Commissioners is not sure what happened in 2023. There was notification that was provided, and it was deemed that the Housing Authority should take responsibility to ensure that employees' pension payments are made regardless if it was 23, 24, 22, and that's what they're seeking to do. As far as the status of the lawsuit is still pending. We hope to have a decision in short order, hopefully within the next week or sooner. And that's it with these questions.
I had asked who reviewed the lawyer's bills before approving them. It appeared they just sort of showed up here.
Right fast enough, sorry.
Did all 5 members who approved the bills review the lawyer's bill?
Presumably so, if it was approved.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Presumably so, if it was approved.
But I saw it get handed off here. I don't know what was shared before the meeting, but was tonight the first time you shared your bill with them?
I don't know.
You don't know when you shared the bill with the board?
I don't know when they shared it with the board, and that's the response that I'm providing.
Okay, well, I think it is concerning if bills are approved that you haven't reviewed. So I would ask the board members if you could please state whether or not you reviewed the attorney's bill.
I reviewed the attorney's bill.
So the board is not required to do a back and forth. The questions were asked, they provided him with a response, and that's the response. If he's not satisfied with the response, something we can do about that.
Too bad, go ahead.
Well, for the record, you are allowed to answer questions. You may not be required to, but good boards and good public servants try their best to answer questions that are asked of them. And so while you may not be required to, I think this board has a lot of room for improvement, and there's clearly problems if you forget to make a pension payment. If you have the meeting devolve into chaos like it did previously, if you have an inability to get board members to show up. I mean, I can't think of the last time the chairman was here at a meeting. So I think that, this board has a lot of room for improvement. You need to start by being transparent. The fact that I've had to wait almost 2 months for these basic Oprah requests shows that there's a serious problem here. So,
Sir, may I say something?
absolutely.
In my comments from the public, I said that you're limited to speaking for 3 minutes, okay? I gave you a lot of time, all right? We way past the 3 minutes. So I've given you a lot of time to speak. And not only that, if you would listen to what I said, I also said on agenda items only. I have given you, not only have I been flexible by allowing you to ask questions that were not on the agenda, I also gave you way more than 3 minutes. And the reason why I have chosen to do it like that is because what happened in the meeting that you discussed before, I don't intend for it to happen again.
Absolutely.
All right,
But
so
my first
please-
question was who's chairing the meeting? You're not, correct? So it's not you who's giving me the time or deciding how much time I have or how to respond to my questions. It should be the person who's chairing the meeting, right?
I am not chairing the meeting,
Right.
but I'm not doing back and forth, but I'm not sharing the meeting. But if you would remember, on my comment from the public, I was very specific. So, Madam Chair,
Is
could
there
you?
anyone else?
Yes.
Yeah, just respectfully, I'd ask you to check your bylaws and see if you're allowed to limit public comments to agenda items only, because I'd be surprised if that's what your bylaws say.
Yes, you can.
You should allow these people to speak about any issue that matters to them and this housing authority, and trying to restrict it and police it is a mistake, and you've allowed me to make comments and ask questions on different topics, so you should allow everybody else the same thing. It's not fair, and it's not good practice to try to limit the public from commenting. This is their space, this public comment period is for them, and I hope that you'll allow folks to speak their mind and ask questions, and I hope that the good board members will answer the questions when asked. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else would like to speak?